Synchronized water drinking. Here at Boi Review, we encourage our listeners to hydrate properly before they enjoy our show.
You've got to get at least 5 sips in.
Five sips of water, and you get a prize.
We won't tell you what the prize is until the end of the show, so you're going to have to listen now.
See, what you've done, Hamish, is you've just created work for us to do, which is to remember to do the drink water bit at the end of the show. I'll
set a reminder for an hour on my phone. So we're going to ruin ourselves, and in 50 minutes' time, we cut the recording, and then I get the notification.
No, we've got to record a separate bit.
Let's add it to my to-do list. And that's it. Get out of here. Wait, is that for fucking Pacific Rim?
Yeah, like Boi Review is Boi Review doesn't not sound like a Jaeger from Pacific Rim.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it could be on your if I didn't know that Boi Review was a podcast that I did, then you could do podcast or Jaeger, and Boi Review could potentially confuse me.
The sequel to Jaeger or Drag Queen, my 5-star quiz.
That was really good, actually. Jaeger or Drag Queen was probably one of the best bits on this show because it was so difficult.
I may try to put together a more professionally formatted version of Jaeger or Drag Queen and bring it to a future episode. Let us know on Instagram if you want to see Jaeger or Drag Queen come back.
I don't know how we'll do that. Maybe I'll do a post about it. Oh, now that's created more work.
I'll put it on a story tomorrow. I'll put it on a story when the episode goes up.
Nice. So, yes, everybody, this is a little show that Wilkie and I like to do here at the weekends. It's, of course, Boi Review. Welcome back to
just this sort of a giant metal structure that we call Boi Review.
Moves around. When I move my right arm, Wilkie's also got to move his right arm, and that makes the Jaeger move. And imagine if instead they each controlled half of it.
I mean, they kind of do in a way. It's never really made very clear. It's a very soft system. Also, I like the bit in the first one where the helmets fill up with orange juice and it's never referenced again.
Why did
the first time the two pilots get into a Jaeger, their helmets fill up with this like orange goo that like I don't know what it's meant to do. They never describe what it is or what it does, but it's just this orange goo in their helmet, and it goes away. I like to think it's just orange juice because they got to have some vitamin C before they go fighting aliens. You don't want to get future scurvy.
Gross.
Dude, grody.
Oh, that's so totally not rad.
I don't like this character.
No, I don't. I just want to get out of it and away into our first topic. Because we've got to review things on this show. I believe it is my turn to go first this week.
Oh yeah, because I went first last week.
Yes. And at the risk of this becoming like one of my other podcasts, the What Hot Gaming Podcast, you can find us on lots of other services, I want to talk about a video game this week. And we might be talking about another video game later on. But I feel like they're kind of different though. So the one I would like to review is Pokemon Go.
Okay.
The mobile app. Because I feel like I've probably talked about it when we did this on Raw, but we're a podcast now, so we can re-review whatever the hell we want.
You definitely did a live episode about Pokemon Go, but that was probably a while ago, and I imagine a few things have changed since then.
Yes, because one of the big things that will have changed is Pokemon Go had to go through lockdown, boy howdy, is it difficult for a game to do well when it's all about going outside at a time when it's really difficult to go outside.
Yes, of course.
So they introduced a lot of features to try and help with that. And actually, I think overall that's made it a far, far better game.
Okay, so now I know, for example, I saw, I think, a Tab article about how dating apps were letting you relocate yourself for free because you're not going to go on a real life date anyway, so why not start swiping with people who live in New York or whatever?
Yeah.
So is that what Pokemon Go did? Could you just did it just turn into a straight up video game and you can just walk around your city?
No, it didn't turn into that, unfortunately. That would have been really cool, but what it did do was it's tried to... Because I think over most of the world, it was never completely not allowed to go outside at all for long, long stretches. I think there were often sort of... With different restrictions, there was some sort of... You're allowed to go outside once a day for some period of time, potentially need a permit or something. And so... Pokemon Go really tried to capitalize on that being part of that one walk a day, particularly I feel like here in the UK and over in the US, by sort of giving players challenges over a 7-day period. So it was week long, and they gave you pretty much every step could be completed in at least an hour, if not in under an hour, if not way quicker. So you could go out and you could actually really utilize that time really effectively to progress. And they tried to get people back by doing events for each of the 4 main regions that were already in the game at the time. That's Kanto, which is the original 151 people, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. And they had those week-long events, got loads of new Pokemon back in the game. They got players with lots of challenges, access to some pretty rare Pokemon in cases that you weren't otherwise super easy to get hold of. And so that was really, really awesome about how they capitalize on that, sort of utilizing the time and understanding there are restrictions. One thing they did add was remote raid battles. So when Pokemon Go originally released, there was this whole big thing about all these people swarming together to go and fight a Mewtwo. And they did eventually introduce that to the game proper, and that was under the guise of raid battles. Up to 20 players can fight something, but obviously right now, 20 people grouping up in one place, real bad move.
Yeah, not a good idea.
So what they did was, firstly, they made the radius you could be from a gym or a Pokestop quite a bit bigger. I think it was like 3 times or 5 times the radius, which means you can be quite a distance from something and spin the Pokestop. The other thing that they also did was remote raid passes. They gave them away pretty cheaply to begin with. Now they cost a bit more Poke Coins, but they do sometimes give away some pretty cheap. And you can just do a raid that you can just see on your map, so it can be, quite a long distance away. But if you can see it, you can try and battle the Pokemon. And then also what I've been doing with some of our other friends that play Pokemon Go, I'm able to raid with them if they invite me. So they can do a raid and be like, I'm going to invite Hamish. And even though Hamish is like 4 hours away by driving, he can be here instantly through the power of Pokemon Go.
That's pretty cool. And the extending the range at which you can spin the Pokestop, realistically, that you said it was about 5 kilometers, did you say was the radius?
Oh no, it's 5, it's like 3 or 5 times bigger what it was before. So I think before you had to be pretty close.
Yeah, I remember back when I used it, you had to cross the road and get pretty close to different places. But with that extended radius, that's pretty much if you were allowed to go outside for extended periods of time, that's about the radius that I feel like you'd be able to hit if you were going out to spin some Pokestops. So it's not making Pokestops available that weren't available to you before.
No,
it's just making it easier for you to do it safely from your home.
Yeah, it's almost more. I think a way to describe it is before, if you were you'd have to be outside the front door of a building or inside it. If that building was a Pokestop, or maybe on that pavement just outside. Whereas in this sort of new version, you can be on the other side of the road, and it's meant that you can sort of be way more antisocial. This has really helped me as sort of the solo lone wolf player. I can be even further away and just casually sit there.
Oh, you're so cool, Hamish. You're the Geralt of Pokemon
I
Go.
wish I was. I'm really not, Wilkie. I'm such the nerd that wants to collect them all, and I hate it.
That would be a really cool crossover, though. His cool, like, Witcher, like, bandolier full of all his, like, potions and oils, but it's all just, like, berries and
Pokeballs.
Pokeballs. What's it called? Is it? I know that you, like, throw raspberries at the Pokemon and they like you better.
Yeah, so you can throw, there's raspberries, a double Z berries. There's pineapple berries that look kind of like pineapples. They give you more candy if you catch the Pokemon.
Oh, I could never have guessed.
You've got...
I could never have guessed that was what pineapple meant.
Nanab berries, which look like bananas, but they're pink.
Whoa.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Whoa.
They're the most useless. I don't actually know what they do. I think they stop a Pokemon moving around so much.
Have you seen the Witcher show?
With Mr. Cavill?
Yeah.
The bro.
You know, when he drinks what's it called? Swallow.
Mm-hmm.
The potion that makes his like skin go white and his eyes go black. Just like Geralt just shoves this massive cartoonish raspberry into his mouth and his skin goes pink and his eyes start crying blood and he just chops a Pikachu in half.
Oh damn. I mean, Izzy got really annoyed with me watching The Witcher because I just recently got most of the way through The Witcher 3, so like I finished it off about the time we were watching The Witcher. But I was obviously like, oh, that's that character, and oh yeah, that's who that is, and I'd get really excited at small things, and like he'd use one of the little bit of magic he can do, and be like, oh, that's that spell, he just cast Igni, it's so awesome. I was just getting so into it, and it is such a good show. I'm glad it's coming back, and there were rumours that Henry Cavill would be swapped out with somebody, but I think that's been quashed, given that he's supposedly on set record or getting ready to go on to set to record.
Do you know my favourite story? We've derailed ourselves immediately. My favourite story about Netflix's The Witcher was that Henry Cavill was meant to wear leather trousers as Geralt, but his legs were too strong.
What?
And he kept breaking them. His leg muscles are literally too big, and he kept tearing the trousers.
Because he's Superman. Oh, because Superman rips his clothes off, doesn't he, at times, and like pops into the suit. So that's he kept doing that
because they couldn't make them big enough for his muscles because then they'd look like Jinko jeans, which is not really a Witcher vibe.
No,
but they couldn't make them look like cool and like fantasy skin tight leather because he'd just rip the seams on them.
See, that's very different.
That's the goal.
That would be a goal, but it would require me to do a lot more.
That's like a real life achievement pop-up. Burst out of your clothes.
I feel like that would require a lot more effort than I'm putting in. I don't know what you're putting in to achieve that, Wilkie, but I'm currently doing practically nothing to achieve leg pop out.
I went for a 5k before this recording.
That's pretty impressive.
I did a 5k.
I couldn't tell. I mean, I can see you because we do this with a webcam. You look pretty fresh. I couldn't tell you just did a big run.
Oh, I got back like 15 minutes before we started recording, and I fully went and like washed my face with cold water.
Still, looking fresh. Looking way more fresh. So I feel like you're trying to achieve the Henry Cavill that bursts out of his trousers, whereas I'm trying to achieve the Henry Cavill that was playing World of Warcraft when he received the call to get Superman in Justice League and fully ignored it until later on, which is one of my favourite clips from.
Does that just mean that
Graham
you want
Norton.
to play World of Warcraft?
No, I just want to have something important happen in my life, but in the moment I feel like gaming's more important, so I keep doing that.
We've become so distracted. Hamish, Pokemon Go.
Go.
So Hamish, how disruptive has lockdown been to your Pokemon Go experience? Have they successfully, smoothed the transition to doing it from home?
Yes, not from at home, but I think we're being respectful of lockdown rules, at least here in the UK. It transitioned really, really well. It gave me a reason to have it be the thing on my hour-long walk. I mean, for example, one really small, tiny feature, which I don't know if it was intentional or not, there's an item called an incense you can drop, and it lasts for an hour, it used to last for half an hour, and Pokemon would spawn, or like extra Pokemon would spawn near you. They upped it to an hour, which was really helpful, because I knew the moment I went on my walk, the recommended amount you should go out for at the beginning of lockdown here in the UK was 1 hour. So I'd just drop an incense and I'd see, okay, my timer's gone to half an hour. I should probably head back the way I just came. Or loop back if I know that the next bit of my walk's going to be shorter than the bit I've already done. And
so is the incense centered on you or on a location?
Centered on me.
Back when I used... Oh, because back when I played, I remembered there's a park near my house that was a Pokestop. You had to put the incense on a Pokestop.
You might be thinking of lures. They are a different item.
Oh, okay.
A lure attaches to a Pokestop. It's more... I think it's a little bit more potent.
But of course, you have to just loiter in a physical location.
Yeah,
I remember you see loads of kids in the playground because I think something in the playground was a Pokestop.
Yeah, they're really cool because they've also had a couple of events in lockdown. Some they did the week long ones, which were free and really cool. They had Pokemon Go Fest. I did have a lot of gripes about that. I think they had to cancel quite a lot of in-person events. You know, I had a ticket to go to Liverpool and play Pokemon Go in April. Obviously got canned ages ago. I think it could have been really cool if they'd incorporated some of those elements into the Pokemon Go Fest, particularly the region-exclusive Pokemon, because in a sad way, that's one of the main reasons you go to one of the big events. You pay for the ticket to go and attend because there'll be, I think in the Liverpool one, there was going to be a Relicanth, which is only available in New Zealand. So I was going in part to Liverpool.
A Relicanth? One?
No, there was going to be spawns of Relicanth.
Okay, I was going to say, because that is how you get mugged. Is you unleash one Pokemon that you'd otherwise have to go literally the other side of the world to catch.
Yeah.
And just someone gets it. And that person is then just dogpiled.
Yeah, so it's not that bad.
Do you like that? I guess they steal their phone and then like do a trade, like Team Rockets. Wasn't there? There was a tweet about that, wasn't there? It's like you meet like a lovely person in a bar, and they're like, "Hey, let me put my number in your phone," and then they take your phone, and then suddenly, to save the world, and they've stolen all your Pokemon.
I mean, that is also the other big thing. As annoying as sort of I can think about the event, sort of the day-to-day of Pokemon Go, which I feel like I want to review as a whole rather than just picking bits out. They did add Jesse and James during lockdown, and it was the coolest thing. As you see, like, there are balloons that sometimes spawn, and to see the Meowth balloon and then Jesse and James do it, and you can read the lines, you know, to protect the world from devastation, to unite all people within our nation, and they do the whole shtick, and it was really, really cool. And there's a lot of fun things in Pokemon Go. The other thing is they've just tweaked some stuff they've added that was new that fans didn't like, to do with Mega Evolution, and I think it's really awesome that Niantic are kind of listening to people, and I think whilst they do still make mistakes, and I think there are situations where they need to learn even now, even sort of like 5 years into the game, I want to give it a bad good, because I think there are still some problems with the game, and I think with the events and stuff they need to really think about it, but generally it's so much fun, and if you do like Pokemon, there are so many reasons to get in. They're still doing loads of stuff right now. Mega Evolution is like the key thing. You can get increased spawns of like Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, and that's why I like it.
Hell yeah. Hamish, put an explosion here. What's that? It's a segment.
Oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. I've sidelined a segment that I'm actually going to do next week. But this week, this is a segment that I cannot put off. Welcome, everyone, all our listeners. Welcome to Prime Time. This is a segment that only occurs on prime-numbered episodes of our show.
Oh, yes. Technically, Wilkie, you missed one.
But did I, Hamish? But did I?
No, but you missed two. Two is a prime number.
Or did I, Hamish? Or did I? Here at Boi Review, our goal is to review everything. And in doing so, our goal is to become famous, to become popular. We want the show to we want the show to have a large reach. We want people to listen to the show so that we can spread our opinions far and wide. We want to hit the prime time. I don't think that's actually... Is that a phrase? We want to get the big time. The big time?
Prime time is like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock TV. That's sort of when most people are tuning in.
We want to be prime time. We want listening to Boi Review. No, I've got it. No, I've got it. We want listening to Boi Review to be a primo time for you, the listener.
Okay, that's a leap.
So,
that's a real reach for a phrase, Wilkie.
Just let me do my segment, okay? And so, Prime Time is a segment where we review the previous prime numbered episode of our show. So, here in episode 3, we're going to give a brief review of episode 2. And then, in episode 5, we're going to review this episode. 7, we're going to review 5. 11, we're going to review 7. And so on and so forth, to help ourselves improve our podcasting game and become prime time. Does that make sense?
Yes, I am astounded, Wilkie, at the amount of thought and consideration that's gone into this.
Hang on, are you astounded because the amount is low or because the amount is high?
I'm astounded because it feels like quite a lot of thought has gone into this. Yeah, it's just...
So, I don't say, initial thoughts about episode 2 of Boi Review. It was a little rushed. We had to delay recording because we were busy.
I was caught in traffic.
Yes, you were caught in traffic. Not our fault, but it did affect the quality of the episode, I think. It was a little rushed. It felt a little rushed. I was a little tired.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on top of my jokes as much as I wanted to be. We had to shift your topic to the group topic. I think that's something we can divulge, is that your topic was going to be Phineas and Ferb, but we didn't actually have time because of the aforementioned traffic to come up with a joint topic. But I will say, we pulled it off. It's a good episode.
Yes.
I think. I still think it was good. It was a solid follow-on for episode 1.
It was a good. We can sometimes alter the good and bad to just a single good.
Okay, now it's my turn to forget how the rating system works. I'm going to give this a score out of 10. No, I'm going to say that last week's episode was a good bad.
Not that low. It was a bad good at worst, Wilkie.
It was fraught with difficulties, but we made it good.
We made it good. I also admit that my mic, I don't think I sounded quite right last week. I sounded a bit echoey because I didn't have time to set up my stand, which puts the mic more in my face. I had to have it a bit in front of me. It was actually on my laptop, and I had to do a lot of sound editing, so you didn't get the whirring of my laptop fans in the background. It's a bit further away today.
Well, that's how we live and learn,
but
Hamish.
We had a lot of fun. We had driving was a good topic.
Driving was a very good topic. I did enjoy that a lot.
Phineas and Ferb was a good topic, and I really like learning about How Ridiculous. They've inspired, a lot of the things you mentioned have inspired thoughts for upcoming Instagram segments that we'll be doing. I might need to ask you some questions.
How Ridiculous is most recent video. We should also revisit, perhaps you can revisit topics. How Ridiculous' most recent video was the Hulk Fist versus the Thor Hammer. It was very cool.
Okay.
And I shan't tell you who won. It's a very good video that you should watch. Hambo, have you done any driving since last week's episode?
I have not been driving. Izzy's been driving. And I won't talk about it too much because she probably won't want me to mention what's gone on with her driving. She's trying to get better at it because she hasn't driven in ages.
She drove into a river, yeah.
Not quite.
Like in that episode of The Office where the sat-nav takes him into a lake. Is it The Office or is that Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Oh, it's The Office. And I don't think we've done anything Phineas and Ferb related.
I watched some more Phineas and Ferb. It's still good.
It's still good. Wonderful. And that was Prime Time. Bow, 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 bow. The ending is air horns instead of explosions. The beginning is explosions, the ending is air horns. So, look out for more Prime Time in episode 5.
Okay. Wookie, do you have a topic? Was that it?
I do. No, that wasn't my topic. I do have a topic. I want to keep Prime Time kind of short. I want to squeeze it in between our topics, and then I'll do my topic. My topic this week is The Longest Johns. The Longest Johns are a folk music group, which I should have Googled them and found out their names.
Wookie, that name reminds me a lot
of what?
Of a film. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you ever watched Treasure Planet? Because the character with long...
I have. I don't know what it is you're trying to. Sure, you're not playing the game, so you can't earn points, but...
Oh, no, I think it counts. So, For anyone listening at home, for some reason there's an ongoing bit between...
don't get the audience in on it. It's going to be hell.
There's an ongoing bit between Wilkie and one of our other friends, Malix. Why Malix is called Malix is a story for another day. About whether they have or haven't seen Treasure Planet, where one of them will say to the other...
So the origin was twice in one day I asked Malix if he'd seen Treasure Planet because I'm very forgetful, especially when I'm excited about something. So I saw something exciting. I was like, oh, have you seen this film? And I showed it, and he's like, yeah, you asked me like 2 hours ago about a separate thing. Have I seen Treasure Planet? And I have. So now we both try and spring Treasure Planet content on each other and to earn points in this game. I was losing 4-3 until I essentially doxed Malix, found out his home address, and sent him a DVD copy of Treasure Planet. So I'm now on about 300 points, I think I earned for that.
That's really good.
I got his girlfriend in on it as everything, so that was great.
But
why does this remind you of Treasure Planet? I have all the information here, but I want to circle back to why did the Longest Johns remind you of Treasure Planet?
So I was going... Malix...
Just the Long John Silver connection.
The Long John Silver connection, and it's literally just also because Malix said the next opportunity I get, I need to bring up Treasure Planet in a Boi Review episode.
You bastard. You didn't even... That was bad, Hambo. That was bad. So, the Longest Johns are a Bristol-based a cappella folk music group. They do a lot of sea shanties, which is why that's how I found them for a D&D thing. I was looking into like sea shanties and the origins of sea shanties and how perhaps I could create some original sea shanties for my setting, because obviously a lot of sea shanties are based on specific things, places from our world. So, for example, there's lots of shanties that mention the Cape or Cape Horn, because sailing around Cape Horn was a thing. I should have looked this up. There's this map of tattoos that you would get for various things. I also heard there's earrings. I think if you wore a silver earring, that meant you had been round Cape Horn.
Cool.
And so there's lots of mentions of Peterhead, which was one of the biggest ports back when sea shanties were a thing. So I was looking into that, and I found the Longest Johns. The Longest Johns are Andy Yates, Dave Robinson, Jonathan J.D. Darley, and Robbie Satin. And this is a fairly short segment, I feel. It's just a delight. I love these guys. They have a YouTube channel which appears to have really blown up during lockdown. Somehow the four of them have ended up being able to, I think they ended up bubbling or staying in place together. So they were able to produce a lot of content during this lockdown. They've done series where they play video games, especially Sea of Thieves and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I
can imagine that would be so much fun having them play Sea of Thieves.
So,
and they just like sing shanties as they go through.
Yeah, so the series is called Open Cruising. So CREWSING, where they create a ship, but it's like the biggest ship possible, but there's only 3 or 4 of them. And so they get random people online to join their ship. They make it like an open crew rather than like a private friends-only crew.
That's really cool.
And then, so they've just got all these randoms on their ship. And one of them would be like, hey, do you mind if I sing a song for you guys? And then there's suddenly this like 4-part harmony. And it's incredible. They sing along with the shanties in Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah, because there's quite a few of those.
They have a great video of them singing a song called Wellerman, which is one of my personal recommendations for entry level for the Longest Johns. Where essentially they're all sat around a table and the camera is in the middle of the table and it's rotating. And each of the 4 people is doing a task. So one of them is making a pizza, one of them is building a model ship, one of them is painting something, and one of them is doing a 4th task. And every time the camera pans across them, they are vastly further ahead in the completion of that task than they. And then once it completes its full rotation, they all come together. One of them's got a model ship, one of them's got a full, beautiful painting. The pizza is cooked somehow over the course of this 3-minute song. So they have a lot of fun with it, whereas I feel like a lot of a cappella, barbershop quartet, like this sort of slightly more old-fashioned music, the groups that perform them can be a little bit more old-fashioned as well.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily old-fashioned, but I think because I'm a fan of a few a cappella groups. I did choir at school, and so I think it sort of attracted a lot of singing because it was always something quite fun to be able to see these really talented, basically choirs. That's what an a cappella group is, because they have a voice for every part. And some of them are a bit more stationary. I think some American stuff, it does introduce some dancing, and I think Pitch Perfect gets in some of that element as well, and made that a little bit more popular. But it's...
Imagine Pitch Perfect, but for sea shanties.
That would be pretty sick. I mean, that's the plot of Pitch Perfect 4, Wilkie. You've written it already. Let's go over to, is it Warner Brothers?
Wait, is that real?
No, but we're going to make it real. We're going to go over to whoever makes Pitch Perfect.
I thought Pitch Perfect 4 was already a thing and I just hadn't seen it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we're going to pitch. This is called Pitch.
That's for next week.
This is our new segment called...
No, we can't do that.
Is Pitch.
We can't have 5 new segments in an episode. I'm sorry, Wilkie.
Okay, we'll bring in Pitch next week. It's where we take a new genre of music and pitch a Pitch Perfect film about that genre. Yes.
So, I'm lost on where I was going with whatever I was saying.
You know a lot of a cappella because you used to do.
Yeah, they're a bit more stationary. You're right. I think sometimes they do move around a little bit. They sometimes have videos, but they don't get zany with it. I think it's cool. There's something sort of a kind of fun and attractive about groups that go weird with it, and they understand that it's weird, and that's sort of part of their appeal. Group sort of bands like that, I always quite liked OK Go music videos, because they do something cool with the song, even if it's unrelated to what they're actually singing about.
Yeah, and not just like stationary physically, but stationary stylistically.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Longest John's like own arrangements of songs incorporate a few more instruments than might be traditional, a sort of slightly faster tempo, a little bit more poppy. I've got a little collection of songs that I would personally recommend that sort of really get me, they sort of get you jazzed. They're like, oh, you want to sort of flex and like, yeah.
Let's share some of those on Instagram. We'll keep plugging our social media. So follow on there, and hopefully sometime this week Wilkie can put a few of those out.
Yeah, honestly, the Longest Johns, I've only known them for a short while, but they're pretty cool.
Are they?
I am gonna.
I was gonna say, are they good?
I honestly, I can't see a reason to not give them good. They're a good band. They make good music.
Okay.
That is the Longest Johns.
So it's funny that you give that a good Wilkie, because we have something else to give a good. That is right. It is our continuation from last week of the good gang. So far we have Megan. We're now going to add 2 new members. Firstly, we hosted a competition on our Instagram. Pretty basic, just sort of comment, like, share the post, do all of that, and we'll enter you into a little draw. So the winner of that was, I believe, I'm just getting up on Instagram, it is Alex Bakes Stuff.
Delicious baked goods.
Alex Bakes Stuff, and I asked her who she would like to nominate for a shout-out this week, and she picked her friend Jack, and she says she specifically wants to give him a shout-out and tell him he's good, because he's just generally amazing, and he knits some awesome scarves.
Oh, that's good.
So
I feel like lots of people have taken up knitting and crocheting and stuff during lockdown, and, that's good. Especially, you can't really give them to people because that's not really safe.
Save them for Christmas.
Save them for Christmas.
Or maybe next Christmas, because who knows if we're going to have Christmas together.
Save them until you can safely give them to someone.
Yeah. Disinfect them and then put them in the mail. I don't know. Work some fun way of doing it.
I've got my hammer and chisel here, and I'm going to put up on this big marble slab. We're going to put up Alex Bake Stuff and Jack onto our wall of good gang. Welcome to the good gang. Hambo, are we in the good gang?
Not yet. We need to win one of our own competitions.
We need to win one of our, or someone needs to nominate us.
Yeah, so we'll be keep on running those. I'm hoping to have sort of different variations as the weeks go on. So keep following our Instagram, and if you weren't successful this time, you will probably get there eventually. We can't guarantee that, but keep on trying.
We're sure you're good anyway, but we can't just. I've only got so much arm strength to put these names up on this marble slab, so we've got to limit it to a few names per week.
Right. Though, as you put more names in, you'll get stronger, so maybe in 1 week you'll be able to put like 100 names on the slab.
I'll have simply one massive hammer arm.
It's like there's this book about dinosaurs sort of doing stuff, and one of the books took place at Christmas. I don't know why the dinosaurs celebrated Christmas, but they did. And they met a elf dinosaur that had one really jacked arm because he had to write up all of the letters to Santa. I don't know why he had to write letters to Santa, because surely he receives the letters. And
you sure he wasn't writing the labels to say that what the
yes, he was
which little child the package was
this
for?
Elf dinosaur had to write all the letters. He had just one giant arm. It was like a T-Rex, but rather than having just the two stubby arms, it's a giant, big, monstrous.
There's a D&D monster like that. There's a type of fiend in D&D called a Yugoloth, which is a neutral fiend. Most fiends are either devils or demons, chaotic or lawful, but Yugoloths are neutral. There's a type of Yugoloth called a Yagnoloth, which has one massively jacked arm with massive claws and one regular human arm with like regular hand, and it wears a big old cloak over one half of its body. It approaches you wearing the cloak covering the big arm, because the Yagnoloth's job is to get people to sign contracts. And so it presents with its human hand the quill, but then if you mess up and if you break the contract, it swaps the cloak to the other arm, so it's got its big beefy arm out and it punches you.
Does the cloak is the cloak magical in some way, so you can't see the arm?
No, it's like symbolic of like I'm covering up my ability to hurt you. Versus negotiations are now closed.
I feel like if I saw a big, just sort of slab of arm falling out of a cloak, I would just...
it's not pretending it doesn't have it. It's just saying, out of respect, look, I'm covering up my murder arm. I'm not going to murder you. But then when it swaps it over,
murder about to happen.
Murder about to happen. And it does just have an ability called Massive Arm, which I think is very funny. Like you know how monster stat blocks in D&D will be like longsword, scimitar, fire breath, massive arm.
Bonk.
Just bonk. It does. I think it does actually stun you. So it just bonks you across the head. Bonk. Anyway, Hambo, what is our joint topic?
So, I think our joint topic actually.
I feel like we had a segue, but then we got distracted.
Yeah. Well, I know what we're going to do, because Wookie, we need to make sure the show is accessible to lots of different people. And there is one market that we aren't hitting. And obviously this next topic, I think, will be very relevant to them. So we're going to be talking about Minecraft. And for the next few minutes...
we're appealing to 8-year-olds.
We're appealing to not only 8-year-olds, but they'll understand this. I'm going to try and... I've learned a little phrase. Just get my phone up.
Okay. For listeners...
To all you villagers out there, I hope you appreciated that.
I was so ready to do a bit where I was like describing what I can see, because like obviously we've got the cameras. I was like, so Hamish has got out his phone, and then you just like Hamish leans up to the microphone. I wasn't ready. Okay, so this episode is for villagers only.
You don't need any emeralds to buy this thing. It's free. Okay.
If you put a microphone in front of a villager, it becomes a podcaster.
That's the item.
All it does is it just makes more noises. It doesn't sell you anything useful. It just makes noise. Okay, Minecraft. What was I feel like we should go chronologically. What was your first experience of Minecraft?
Well, I feel like if we're going to go chronologically...
Not just the first time you played it. The first time you came into contact with Minecraft.
Oh, okay. This is going to go back a while ago then, to my early YouTube days, when I was a watcher, not a YouTuber.
I was going to say, if you had a YouTube channel, I have failed in not finding it yet.
I watched a bunch of channels. I think the first channel I subscribed to was Game Theory, and then very quickly subscribed to a few channels that are sort of in that sphere. And I think, I don't know why, but it recommended things like Smosh Games. So it wasn't just Smosh, it was like their gaming division, and they had, I can't remember all of them.
I never engaged with Smosh. I've heard that it was like the biggest thing.
Thing.
Simply never.
And at the time, it was the biggest channel. I think it got overtaken by PewDiePie, and then maybe something took over, but I think PewDiePie just sort of shot up after that. Might not have been him that overtook them, but they were huge for a time, and they still were pretty big, even if they weren't the biggest. And Smosh Games, they had a Minecraft channel, not a Minecraft channel, like a Minecraft series. And that was sort of my first experience of the game, just sort of seeing these people that I'd seen play other games. And I thought, well, I've heard of this Minecraft thing. They've got I'm looking for content. They've got 50 episodes, or probably not that many at the time, of this show. I'm going to watch that because I've got nothing better to do with my time. There's no other content on the internet right now. Not true, but
YouTube was invented 10 minutes ago,
and that was
there's simply nothing else to watch.
And that was sort of my first experience, which then led to me wanting to play it.
My first experience of Minecraft was seeing my friend Oscar, who you have heard simply so much about in all the different Armandos. An improv format that involves telling stories from your real life. I have recounted many tales of my friendship with Oscar.
Exactly, he's really cool actually, because he's gold and bold.
Yep, and he always stands with his arms crossed. He's a very stalwart friend of mine. Oscar's cousin Stephen, super cool cousin Stephen.
Is he who Steve's based on in Minecraft?
No, his name's Stephen. I got distracted by Minecraft and called him Steve, but no. Super cool cousin Stephen. I once was once at Oscar's house when I arrived for a sleepover, I think, and was playing Minecraft. And I had such a skewed impression of what Minecraft was from that experience, because what Stephen was doing was he was playing on a survival world on a tiny island in the middle of the sea, and he was building a tower out of solid obsidian. Like just a Sauron-style massive black tower.
Hardcore. Very goth.
Except he kept closing the game every 5 minutes and opening a different piece of software, which I later learned out was called a piece of software called SPC, Single Player Commands. And he was using that to go into his player data and fill his inventory with obsidian blocks, which he'd then log back into Minecraft, reload the world, his inventory was then full of obsidian, and he'd keep building. And I thought that was how you played Minecraft. Until ages later I was like, why didn't he just do it in creative? But it was pretty cool. It was this massive obsidian tower, and at the top there was a big lava pool that then flowed down through a glass tube in the centre of the tower to illuminate it. And it was pretty cool, but it was a really weird way of experiencing Minecraft for the first time. And I used to play Minecraft back when I was the age of the what the internet believes all Minecraft players look like. Like I said, 8-year-olds, proper young children who are just playing it because it's a fun little game. And I was bad at it. I've never beaten the Ender Dragon. First of all, I've never beaten Minecraft. I had this very sluggish gameplay style where I would build a house, like a little wooden house. I liked building in caves. I would build into the side of a mountain. I'd get a little set up there. I'd have my furnaces, I'd have my chests, I'd have my crafting table, my bed, and I would stop there. And the game, it became a very as much as this is a phrase that describes something else, a very hand-to-mouth style of gameplay. I would go out and I'd get stuff and I'd put it in my chests, and I'd go out and get stuff I didn't do anything with it. I just went out and got iron.
Okay. Because
I thought I just needed to go get iron. I was never brave or go-getting enough to go into the nether and go and get blaze rods and turn it into blaze powder, and to go and kill Enderman and turn it into Eyes of Ender and go and find the end and go and do that. I never did that. I just stopped there and just turtled almost. I just set up a little base and I just turtled.
Because I think then, because from playing it then, I came to Minecraft quite late, because I watched a lot of Smosh, and then I kind of grew out of that channel. And also the thing I hated most about it was that they only ever played Minecraft for 10 minutes. So there would be sort of these big adventures they would go on, but it would take you, sort of like 6 weeks to get an hour of that adventure, and it never felt like it progressed at a decent pace. It felt like the 10 minutes was worthwhile, sure, but I wanted more. So I ended up typing "Let's Play Minecraft" because I knew I knew they did Let's Plays. I knew that's what it was called, and then inadvertently found sort of probably my favorite YouTube channel, the Let's Play channel, which is by Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter, and obviously because if your channel is literally called Let's Play and you do a big Minecraft series, you're going to do quite well SEO wise if someone types Let's Play Minecraft. And yeah, they do these bigger, sort of longer...
I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Hour-long shows of Minecraft, and it's also quite fun because they have a slightly more adult humour. They're aimed at a more 18 to 30 age range. It's these older people, and it's really cool to see them play Minecraft, and they do a lot of mod stuff as well, but it feels a bit more in depth. Like they kind of, it feels I don't quite know how to explain it. It's aimed at obviously a slightly older audience. They kind of explain it a little bit more, and they say, "Oh, this is where we got the mod from. This is where you can go and download it. It's all below if you want to play the same thing." So they did a lot of like Sky Factory, which always seemed really cool. They did a Pixelmon mod, which I've been playing a little bit recently that I'd like to play with people. Sky Factory I'd love to play with a big group as well because that looks really cool. And I came to also then play Minecraft when I was a bit older. I think I had it on PC for a while, but I didn't really use my laptop much, so I played mostly on the Xbox. And because of the achievement system, and I was really into achievements at the time, you could see where you could progress. It would be like, I need to get this achievement next and that achievement. And I was really proud for a time that I had all the achievements in Minecraft, and I kept it up for a while until I sort of lost the ability to play Minecraft for quite a while. I went to uni for like a whole year, obviously, as you do, and didn't have my Xbox with me. And so they added like 2 updates of achievements, and I was just like, I'm not going to get these. There's so much effort to get this 120 gamer score. But that was sort of my thing. And yeah, so it was, because I was a bit older, I think I went for it a bit more. And so I did miss out on some of that sort of childhood-esque of it. But I think also because I was used to watching a slightly older audience that make content for older people, they swear and do all of that, I didn't feel weird playing Minecraft because it's such a cool game. And then now, visiting Izzy, I can see younger people playing it. I mean, we went to go and visit her aunt and uncle who have like 2 young kids, I think both younger than 10. They're both in primary school. And they were playing Minecraft together. We were sat all outside and they'd gone inside to play their game. And it was really cool to see them enjoying the same game, but in a very, very different way. They are...
Were they playing in a multiplayer game?
Just the 2 of them, but yeah, multiplayer. And it was just them being silly and having fun, and they would be, I always like designing something and making it look really cool when I do it, and they just sort of chalk up 4 blocks and be like, it's my house now. And they'd sometimes hop into creative and do some stuff, and then they'd hop back. But then also some really cleverness, obviously, from these kids that play the game quite a lot. The younger brother was in charge of the game world, and so he was really mean. He kept putting the sister into creative so she could fly around, and then when she was really high up, he'd turn her back into survival.
That's great. There's sort of like this meta narrative that Minecraft, because Minecraft has a story, right? You can, like I said, build up a base, find diamonds, get obsidian, go to the Nether, get blaze powder, make Eyes of Ender, go to the end, kill the dragon. That's how you speedrun the game.
Yes.
But you can build up these brilliant meta narratives surrounding literally anything. I watched recently. This is sort of transitioning into my more recent experience with Minecraft. I watched recently a series by Wilbur Soot where he played random item skyblock. So he starts the game on a single block of bedrock standing in the void. And every 30 seconds, an item just drops into his inventory. Literally any item in the whole of Minecraft. And so he starts building up this base, like he gets a solid block of like concrete or something, and now he has 2 blocks to play around on. And he starts building up this base, and he got a fish that he accidentally placed, like a bucket with a fish in it, that he accidentally placed, and the fish swam off the edge of the block into the void. And so then the rest of the game became him waiting for another fish so he could sort of right the wrongs. And ostensibly, this version of the game, you can still beat the Ender Dragon. You can still build an end portal if you get all of the frames.
Yeah.
You put all of the Eyes of Ender in, you can go kill the Ender
Exactly.
Dragon. But that was no longer the point.
It's now to save the fish.
He wanted to save the fish. He wanted this whole meta-narrative about the sky gods, who were the creature, the entity giving him these items. He would pray to the sky gods, and he would like throw valuable items off the edge as a sacrifice and say, "I want, I just want like a block of dirt so I can start growing a tree." And it was brilliant. Like he was, not playing Minecraft the way it was intended, but it was still this incredibly emotional story. What he did in the end was he picked up his new fish called New Milo in a bucket, and he went into the game data, copied the character from that game, and dropped them into a new regular survival world, and then set the fish were called New Milo because it was Milo but new, and set New Milo free into the ocean.
Oh, that's really cute.
And it was like, look, I'm going to leave the Skyblock world as it is, but Milo, I want you to be free. And like I told you that little 2x2 pond was the world, but this is your world now. Go be free. And I was like, that's a fish. That's a piece of code.
But you feel for it, because that's why I really like Let's Play, because when Achievement Hunter do Minecraft, they have these series. They did Sky Factory, which is similar to Skyblock, but it has a couple of extra mods thrown into it. One of the you start with a tree normally, and you build up this world. They had a thing where their goal in that was to make a big arc reactor. So that was most of them, but they also had a guy, Farmer Jeff, one of their characters called Jeff, and he just didn't get all this weird mod stuff, so he just wanted to make every single kind of chicken. Because in this version, there was you could have chickens that would grow everything, and his world kept getting weird and messy, so he just went off into the distance. And sort of the ending of that series, they built the portal, they built the reactor, but they purposefully, or accidentally even, in inverted commas, built it wrong. And if you do it wrong, it explodes. And they knew in advance that when it exploded, the radius would get everyone except for Jeff. So Jeff would just be left on his own with some of his chickens that had survived. And that was quite a fun ending.
So it's just this guy, this chickens.
And they do other things, they do a You're Dead series. So they play it, they start off with X amount of players on an island, on hardcore, or in the world of Minecraft. And their goal is just to survive. And the first two were pretty fun. It was left with just one person alive. And the final one was
like Hunger Games.
Yeah, and this one was just, you can't kill each other, but you die to lots of different things. And they had different ways of bringing people back to life in some series. And this one was like, okay, we're actually going to try and kill the Ender Dragon. And they did it. And that was one of the few times that's actually been their goal. Because then the final thing, which is always the ending of kind of their episodes, often, where they have a competition, is they compete for something called the Tower of Pimps. It's an obsidian block with 4 gold blocks above it. The tower is specifically the 4 gold blocks, but it's often on a base of obsidian. So it's 5 tall.
Okay.
And they just, it's random stuff. They'd make games in Minecraft off screen, and then they would play them. They had, one of their more famous ones is Wipeout. They created the Wipeout course, or a version of it, and they had to get around it, and whoever got round fastest won the Tower of Pimps. They had other ones.
Did they get to take it and put it in their base?
They have houses, and they just put it outside their house. They also had a real version of it. They could move around on their desk.
Oh, wow.
They did one called Creeper Soccer. So it's what we call football in the UK. And they have a pit done up. They're put into a mode where the blocks don't blow up, and they're all given fishing rods. And the goal is to try and fishing rod and pull the creeper into the other player's goal, so then it blows up. And if you blow it up and blow up their TNT, then you get a point. And they played that for a bit. And they do all these other different game modes that I could go through. And it showed that...
Yeah, I love the way you can, use Minecraft to create these other games.
There's a game within the game.
Yeah, I was watching the Minecraft Championships, and there's... I put down a few things I want to talk about. I might actually talk about them as their own segment. But, the Minecraft Championships, they had the one that just came to my mind was a hole in the wall. So there's a flying machine with slime blocks, and you have to, step in between the slime blocks, jump over them, or you get bounced by the flying machine off of the platform. And but what was great is that it had an in-game viewing platform for people who'd been knocked out. And so you're standing there and you're watching the game happen in the center as the platform slowly gets smaller and the walls slowly get more complicated. And you can hear just the audio of this one team all on a group Discord call, just screaming. as it's like a 1v1 now between one of their players who had previously been a bit of an underdog, and like who was it? Vicstar, I think, or Mr. Beast, like some massive YouTuber, and this guy who doesn't have a YouTube channel but just is a mate of some of these other team members, and this guy won, and it was incredible. And like for the final game, which I think is a game of dodgeball but with bows and arrows, there were 2 areas where you could walk in, and a command block would detect you, and it would put on your head a big banner with one of the team colours on it. So you could run around with like a massive blue banner to support the blue team. And it was brilliant watching the entire stadium fill up with, I can't remember, I think it was blue banners showing support for this underdog team who were in the final against this team. I think this red team was Vicstar's team, and he had essentially just got the 3 best Minecrafters that were available to be his 3 teammates.
As you would.
And it was kind of a bit rigged because it was his competition. But just the entire stadium all with blue banners on their heads, like, come on! And they ended up losing. But just like, yeah, the sort of incredible camaraderie that you can create in multiplayer Minecraft especially. I'm having experienced multiplayer Minecraft, I don't know that I could play single player Minecraft without setting some other expectations, like trying to speedrun it or trying to play it on hardcore. Like I'd need something else because it wouldn't really engage me as much as multiplayer does.
I have played some multiplayer, but maybe not as much as you might have done then, because I still think for me the biggest draw of Minecraft is just if I ever get in a funk and I don't really know what else to do, my favorite thing is just to go into Minecraft and I just play until I've got a house that I like. And I just make a house and I sort of feel out what I want it to look like. And then when I've got the house, I feel like I'm out of my funk. I've built something. Sometimes it's a really small house, like it's 9x9 or the floor. Sometimes, it's 64x64. It can be giant.
Big old mansion.
And I just love that feeling of relaxing and just going down into the mine and just be like, okay, you know what, actually, maybe I'm not going to finish the house today. Maybe I'm just going to dig until I find diamonds. And this very methodical route you can take of how you're meant to do it, and just sort of busy work, keeping you distracted in that way, I think is really awesome as well. And I think that's why Minecraft probably is one of the best games out there, just in general, because it can appeal to practically everybody. Anything you like, you can find it in Minecraft, either in the base game or in some mod pack if you're playing on PC. I love how you can play across so many different consoles now. I could be playing on my Xbox with people on their PC or Switch, PlayStation 4, any of it. And I think that's also something quite special. And I think that's why it's such a good game. I'm going to just say that's where we're going with it.
Good. Yeah. Well, Hambo, I can see you in your camera. Are you reaching for what I think you're reaching for?
Well, I'm reaching for my phone to remind me that we have got to give our guests a prize for drinking their 5 sips of water. And for you...
If you drank 5 sips of water, you can... I don't know what you have available to you. You can treat yourself to something. Maybe watch an extra episode of the show you're watching tonight, or you can have a snack.
On the snack topic, we give you express permission to go to the cookie jar, and you may have one cookie. One cookie. If your parent says...
Don't have too many, because you're going to... If you have 3 cookies...
You regret it.
You're going to regret it, because you're going to be... In future you... is going to wish they had 2 more cookies.
Exactly. So just have the extra one. If you are planning to go and grab one, you can grab a second. It's the one extra cookie is your prize. But
there's no cookie loss there.
It's not 2 extra cookies or 3 extra cookies. It's just the one. And I hope you really enjoyed that cookie. And whilst you're enjoying it, you can listen to our outro. I want to thank Storyblocks for creating our theme song and letting me buy it. I don't know why I keep thanking them. It was they sold it to me. It's just like, I also like to thank Amazon for selling me my microphone. I'm going to stop thanking them eventually.
Well, it's if people want to know where our theme tune is called World Gone Wild.
Yeah, World Goes Wild, I think.
Yeah, our theme tune is called World Goes Wild. We got it from Storyblocks.
They have some really good stuff, actually. If you are looking for, they don't sponsor us, but if you are looking for music, it's a fairly reasonable price. particularly if you're starting out like we are. I'd also like to thank Alex Bakes Stuff for entering our competition, and welcome Jack to the Good Gang. And I would also like to thank you for listening along at home, for subscribing to us on whatever platform that you are listening to us on, and potentially giving us a review. A 5 stars would be lovely. This is the only time we're allowed to mention 5 stars is on podcast services. Until they adopt the good rating, we've got to go with the 5 stars.
Maybe put in your review that the show is good, just so people know.
And there's nothing else to say. Follow us on Instagram so you can keep up to date with everything else we'll be doing. And that's us. We're done. We will be seeing you next week when it won't be a prime number week, so we won't have prime time, but there'll probably be some other bit. And it's going to be pitch, probably.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.